So how old were you when World War II started?
21.
You were 21. And where did you live then?
In Algool.
And is that in Yorkshire?
Well, that is in Old.
In what is now, it's East Yorkshire, I think,
Yes.
isn't it? And did any evacuees come to live in that area?
Yes, quite a few. A few came.
And were they children or families?
Families. Mothers and the children, yes.
Because I suppose the fathers were...
Would either be... Well, they'd be at work, wouldn't they? Or be called up or something. Yeah.
So was it mostly countryside then that you were living in?
No, not really. Well, there is country all round Old Gould, but there's lots of streets.
I suppose they must have thought it was an area that wasn't going to get too much bombing.
They must have thought that.
And once when you were living near there, didn't you see a German bomber up close?
I did.
And what happened then?
Well, I was on Swanfleet Road and I got off my bike and got behind the cloud wall and got in till it went. And I saw it very low.
Must have been really scary.
It was scary because I could see it coming on, could hear it getting louder and louder.
So it almost went over your head then?
Yes, well, nearly.
No,
Yeah.
not far away.
No, it wasn't. It was very near.
And did you have blackouts?
Yes. We did in those days.
And if you were riding bikes at night time, what did you have to do then?
Well, we had some small lamps and you had to take the front off, the glass off, and then put a bit of this black stuff that you was using for your windows, just a little bit in so that it just left a little slit, and that's all you could see from you, through your...
Just enough to see a tiny little strip?
Just the tiniest little bit.
And you got married in the war, didn't you?
Oh yes, of course I did, 40.
In 1940?
Yes.
So that was quite at the beginning of the war, so were you able to have a new wedding dress?
Yes. Yes, because they hadn't started then with the close coupons.
So I suppose some people a bit further into the war, they wouldn't always be able to buy brand new dresses.
Oh no, I used to lend it out to quite a few people. And because they just couldn't get the coupons to get these things, so... Yeah. And
later in the war then, people had to save up ingredients then for things like wedding cakes, didn't they?
Oh yes. Yes, like if you wanted a wedding cake, you just had to save up, and sometimes your neighbours or your friends would try to save a bit as well
to help
make it possible.
And then you moved to Willoughby Top near Elsham Airfield
Willoughby Top, yes.
in Lincolnshire. And what did your husband do there?
Well, he was a under-farm manager on a big farm.
And did you have any children in the war?
Yes, a daughter, 1942.
And did she have new baby clothes and toys?
She did at that time. Maybe what had been handed down to her. Yeah.
So what kinds of things would she be able to have for her birthdays and Christmases?
Very little of anything. She'd maybe have a rattle and little bits of things like that, but that was all. Yeah. That's all they got then. And
a lot of the clothes were knitted, weren't they, in those days?
Yes,
people they were made yourself rather than bought?
Yes. People used to knit and sell them to you. Yeah.
And when you live near the airfield, do you used to sometimes count planes in and out?
Yes, if I saw them going out, I would go out and try and count them as they were going. But not always, I didn't do it, but it was a thing I used to do. And then starting when they were coming back, which of course was hours after, you used to watch them coming back.
I suppose you were really worried that the
came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had lodgers while you lived there, did you?
Yeah.
Was that your choice to have the lodgers?
No, definitely not. Oh no.
Why
No,
did you have to have them then?
It all went with the job because they worked on the land.
Right.
They're like just workers, and they used to have to stay. Of course, nearly everything was done with the horses then, and so they had to stay the nights to look after their horses, to feed them and give them straw and such like. And so, of course, there was in my house. It was quite a big house, and they used to feed them then. And they used to sleep there.
So as part of their wage, they used to also get fed then?
That's it. That was part of their wages.
And what kind of things did you use to cook them?
Meat and potato pie, sausages.
Or why did you cook a lot of pork products?
Because I had a lot of pork, I had a lot of... you used to have at least 3 really big pigs every year. And of course you got those in the winter time.
And you got a pig, didn't you, for having a lodger?
A pig, you used to get a pig for each lodger, each man that you had, or boy, or what we called them. And so if you'd 4 living with you, you got 4, but if you'd 2 living with you, you got 2.
Yeah. So you used to have lots of pork related...
For to bake with and things like that, yeah.
And
We used to feed them on bacon and such like, you know.
And did you used to render meat down then? What does that mean?
Fat. Well, you see, if you have a big pig, they've a terrible lot of fat on them. So all that fat you used to cut up and put it in a bowl or a pan or anything in the oven until it all melted down, and then put it in buckets or jars or whatever you had.
Right, so you could
kept it
save
cool.
it for when you needed it.
And then it lasted a long time.
And what sort of thing could you do with
Oh, pastries and frying, anything like that. It was really good. It was pork fat.
what other things did you use to cook then for the lodgers?
Well, it used to be bacon and ham and of course the rations, what they used to get. Like, you know, it would be beef or anything.
Were there any things that were difficult to get?
Well, there were loads of things that you couldn't get. So you just had to do without and do best you could with it, you know.
What sort of things you couldn't get easily then?
Well, butter, sugar. Sugar was very scarce.
What about eggs?
And eggs were, so we used to use egg powder mixed with cold water. And tea.
Quite a lot then.
Oh,
really.
there was quite a lot of things you couldn't get.
And
You couldn't
probably
get any Coke
fruit
and
and things
also.
like that.
No, and you couldn't get much jam and things like that, you know, to cook with. So you used to get your own apples and things like that to bake with.
Yeah. Grow your own things as
As
much
your
as you
shot
could.
of sugar.
Yeah. Who else worked on the farm other than the farmhands? Were there any?
Lots of land girls.
Yeah.
And they came from Nottingham, I think.
And were they prisoners of war as well?
Oh, no, they just worked on the land, they called them Land Army. And they used to be brought from Brig. They were staying in a hostel at Brig. And a bus or something used to bring them to work, take them home. Then sometimes they could go home for the weekend. Well, it was up to them whether they went home or not. They could afford it.
Well, thank you very much. That was really interesting. That was brilliant.